Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. This is your man RC Speaks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today I want to get right to the point of this, what I want to talk about. Uh, as men, there has to be accountability. Excuse me, let me move this because I look crazy. Okay. For men, there has to be an accountability out there. Has to be an accountability for men, not just black men, for men. We have to have accountability. I've been guilty of that in my life before, of not having accountability. Also, confidence comes with some humility with it. So when people say you should humble yourself, or like in the player or person I'm talking about today, when somebody they need to humble themselves, yeah, we as black people would take it to mean, oh, why we always got to humble? Why ain't nobody else got to humble themselves? Yes, everybody does have to humble themselves because as a man, that's what you do. Confidence doesn't come from being talkative and this personality. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about personality with confidence. Some people's personality masks their lack of confidence. Say that. Let me say that one more time. Yeah, mask their lack of confidence. So they'll use that for that. In the case of Deion Sanders, Deion has always been a great athlete. Seems to be a great guy. He's entertaining. He's fun. To me, I feel like when someone asks him, what do you like at home? His answer was, he don't say much, he's quiet, he's chill. Okay, that's cool to be like that at home. I have no problem with that. But then he said when he go outside, he's prime. He's prime when he go outside. That's two different people. You know, why aren't you quiet outside? I say all this to say that I don't think it was a good business idea for how they handled this, because with Shedeur dropping in the draft, since so many of us lack accountability, or as a collective we do, I don't think they took it as a business. So from what I'm hearing now, what's coming out now is that Shedeur was tanking interviews, or he'll go there with a chain on, and somebody said he had a Bluetooth thing around his neck with music playing. He had a hat on backwards. And if you're going to go into a draft, and this is business, mind you, if you're going to go into the draft, you got to keep it business. These people, if you're a first round grade as a franchise altering quarterback, they're going to know that you're going to be solid and that you're going to lead the team. The problem with Deion always saying he's confident is, for one, when Colorado was 3-0 the year before last, and Deion said, "What makes you think that I care what you think about me?" That's not confidence. That's somebody that's by answering that question, you care. As a man that's confident with some humility, all you gotta say, all you have to say, I don't pay attention to none of that, and keep it moving. Talk about the game. You don't have to go into that diatribe. Of course, I hate to say this, because a lot of people do have dads that wasn't good at raising them. But Deion wasn't around men like that. He wasn't raised by men like that. So a lot of what he got was what he's trying to cover up from who he was as a kid. And he created this persona. He said this numerous times over and over. He said it. The problem is now with the business of football, you're not telling your son, like, yo, you're a quarterback. They want you're going to be the face of the franchise. You be a franchise changing quarterback. And you're in here tanking interviews. You're in here dressed the wrong way, and when they ask you about plays, because after the draft they're gonna tell everything about why somebody dropped. That's gonna come out. So all this is it definitely has to be true, because it's happened to not just black players and not just Shedeur. It's happened to a lot of players that have dropped. Aaron Rodgers dropped. Uh, Numerous others has dropped. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Uh, Dak Prescott, he dropped because of off the field stuff. So it's an interview process. It's an interview for a job. So if you're interviewing for a job, you're going to go in there and be professional, right? The average person, the regular working man, you can't go to no job interview, chains all out, hat backwards, got music playing on there, half answering their questions. If they asking you about a certain play and what is this defense, or what would you run here against this defense, or what is this play, you can't say, oh, maybe I'm not y'all guy. Because these people are already interviewing you knowing that Dion has been your only coach your whole quarterbacking life. Dion's not going to be your coach at the next level. So they want to know what you actually know. Dion messed this up by saying he only wanted you to go to certain teams. That's already a red flag to teams. Because if he just naming certain teams, which I can't remember if he named any or not, but I know he did mention the Falcons. They're not drafting Shedeur. They already have quarterback. I don't recall off the top of my head. It was a couple other teams. But what I'm saying is, by you saying that, now you're limiting how he can move. Your attitude, Dion, you're a cornerback. You can get away with it as a cornerback, but you might not interview because back then you was already considered a top 5 lock off the rip. Because you was returning punts, kick returns, hell of a defensive back. You could do it all. But your son is a quarterback. And by you putting that out there, he only played for certain teams, now it's like, oh, okay, so now it's like this. And the thing I hate about this also is because Dion said that. He said, I'm going to pull an Archie Manning. For those of you that don't know, in 2004, Archie Manning did not want Eli Manning to go to the San Diego Chargers with the number 1 pick. But that didn't really come out, if I recall, because it's been 21 years ago. If I recall, they played it close to the vest until Eli was picked, until the trade was made between him and the Chargers and the Giants, where the Chargers gave them Eli and the Giants gave the Chargers Phillip Rivers. Now, if memory serves me correctly, back then, the Chargers wanted Phillip Rivers anyway. But see, Eli Manning was the top prospect. So Eli went first to justify that slot, and Phillip Rivers went fourth. So now the Chargers are paying, basically getting a number 4 pick for number 1. So let that sink in. So it's a different thing. It's a different connotation. But again, black folk lacking accountability. When somebody black does something and somebody white has done it, instead of being accountable for what you've done currently, we got to go over and talk about what somebody white did. And Shedeur is not Eli. He's not Peyton. He did very well at Colorado. His past season, he was great. He was getting the ball out. He was good. But the scouts and all these people want to know, what do you know about quarterbacking at the next level? We want to know what plays you can read. Because you diagram a play. All the quarterbacks go through it. We've watched a lot of quarterbacks, especially with John Gruden. You've watched a lot of quarterbacks go through the chalkboard with prospective teams. The guys picked before him did all their interviews, right? And did all the stuff that people had. That's why they were picked before him. Not because of talent, not because of production. They did the interview process right. And now they get a chance, they're picked higher. Once you're picked up to the 3rd round, it can get dicey as to whether or not you make the team, bro. Yeah, you just should not say nothing about where you want them to go or where you didn't want them to go. You should just let it play out. Now y'all got to wait till the 5th round till they get picked. And now we got everybody running around here. I heard that somebody talking about this racism. See, when niggas say, excuse my language, I'm sorry. When black people say, Shedeur Sanders falling. When they say he's falling because it's racism, when the number 1 pick was a quarterback that's black, most of the people picked in the draft are black. Most of the league is black. I mean, what are y'all talking about? Cam Ward, when him and Shedeur were working out, this is on camera. This is footage you all can look up. You can Google it. and look it up. Shedeur talking about the Cam Ward. Man, we should do a rap song together. Cam Ward said, no, I don't do no rap. I play football. And another question he asked me, he's like, man, what you do for fun? He said, man, football is my fun. That's what these franchises want to hear from a franchise quarterback. He's all football. And you got to be all football going in as a rookie. Then they're going to question your hunger. See, Cam Ward didn't come from where you come from, Shedeur. We know good and well you and Shiloh are straight for life. And that's fine. But these people want to see your hunger for it as a franchise QB. You messed up your stuff so bad that you went from a first-round grade to the 5th round. And y'all looking at people. And if it motivates you, it should. I hope you do well. I hope Dion does well. I have nothing against you, brothers. But I am sick and tired of black folk. Sick and tired of black folk not holding accountability, not asking questions as to why stuff happens. No accountability. Dion, no accountability. Yeah, that line wasn't good, but guess what? You lose and win as a team. You got all the hype. You got every black celebrity up in Colorado rooting Dion on. Cool. I hope he does well. But again, that's another part of black people. I ain't seen none of y'all on the sidelines. I ain't gonna say, there's some people who went to Jackson State. I do believe I seen Gil and Waller out there, but a lot of y'all jokers didn't go down there to Jackson State. But y'all all for the black, though. My bottom line is when I constructive criticism of your people or your loved ones, it's out of love. It's not hating. Dion is almost 60 years old talking about somebody hating. Shut up. You ain't grew up none, man. If somebody disagree with what you're doing, if somebody slaps somebody and it's a black celebrity, y'all will probably be cool with it. Then y'all will want to ask, well, what made him slap him? But only with black celebrities do y'all even try to ask a question when they get into something. Shedeur Sanders fell because he got bad advice from his dad. That don't mean Dion a bad dad. You gave him cornerback advice. Oh, I ain't going this team. I ain't going that team. All because you in that room and you asking people, what? Interview with y'all. What y'all pick? We picked like 10. He was like, oh, I'll be long gone by then. Yeah, that's funny, but you was a cornerback. And you was going to be gone by then. So, let's be real. Let's be real. So I just wanted to prove my point right here. I'm gonna let former number 1 pick, Mr. Cam Newton himself, speak on this. Because he's been getting backlash for what he said. But all he was doing was being constructive. He was a franchise quarterback and the MVP of the league and the number 1 pick. He didn't fall to the 5th round. He did all his interviews. He went to his combines and all that. So let's just see what Cam has to say.
Shedeur Sanders, this message is directed to you. Lead with work, not clout. I think he took on the persona of a DB, not a QB. As a DB, you're able to do certain things. You can speak loud and be rambunctious and have that bravado. But as a quarterback, reminder, you are the CEO of that franchise. What do I mean? You have what I've labeled the Super 6 that you have to pander to. Number 1, the owner. Number 2, the general manager. Number 3, the head coach. Number 4, the position coach. Number 5, the players. And also number 6, the fans. This is the best situation for Shedeur because he has to claw his way to the top. Does he have the capabilities of doing it? Absolutely. And if I'm in his camp, I'm telling him like, bro, let's get to work. Let's control what we can control now. I do see Shedeur Sanders starting for the Cleveland Browns at some point this year. Shedeur Sanders.
That's from Cam Newton, NFL MVP, #1 pick, franchise quarterback. He got backlash from that. Why did he get backlash from telling the truth? Why? You understand what I'm saying? He's been there, done that. He got backlash from black people for that. Why are you putting another black man down? Blah, blah, blah. This man told that man business. Had nothing to do with nothing else. And I don't see no way he lied. Cam went there, yeah. Cam went in there. #1, yeah. He went right in, went right to work. We know Cam worked. We seen the results. But Cam didn't go in there entitled. There wasn't nobody in Cam talking about, well, we ain't going to the Panthers. No. So what I'm trying to say to y'all today is that now Shedeur has to get it, as they say, get it out the mud. I don't know how that's going to shake down Cleveland now with him. They also drafted another quarterback in the 3rd round, Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback that was out of Oregon. They also have Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, and Kenny Pickett on the roster. Joe, they had Flacco for insurance. Anyway, Deshaun just tore his ACL last year. And Pickett is a retread. Like Pickett was with Pittsburgh. The Steelers at first, and then, that didn't work out. So he's been bouncing around. And then you got the 2 rooks. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But like I said, man, we have to be accountable, man. And you better ask questions. And I hope Shedeur learns from this and gets to work. I ain't saying he got to distance his pops or distance himself from his pops, but he's going to have to because, it's, in the NFL, you work. But a lot of these teams they want to know what you want to do as a franchise quarterback. They don't want a dad. They give you a playbook, you and Deion go and change the plays. Nah, they don't want that. They want to deal with you. This a job. This a career. This ain't you and Deion. Deion had their career. So you should do it, Sanders. You ain't Deion. You ain't in there with the Jerry curl and necklaces on it. You a cornerback and you go 5th. That wasn't you. So, hey, man, I appreciate y'all. Catch you next time. I have another one coming out. The next one I'm coming out with will be about, I'll let you know when it come out. Peace.